Brian Grimes, your real estate mentor, back with another action-packed session. Today, we're going to do some live Q&A. I pretty much compiled all of the questions that you guys have been sending me over the course of the last 2 weeks. So we're going to go through some of the questions there. If you have questions live, drop them in the comment section, drop them in the chat. We're going to answer your questions live as well. You can ask me anything about real estate. We're also going to start off with a little bit of mindset. If you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment that says, I subscribe. For everyone who leaves that comment, I'm going to send you instant access to my free real estate training. It'll show you how to acquire properties for pennies on the dollar all across the country. You don't want to miss out on that free offer. So let's get into it, guys. Once again, drop your questions in the comment section, and I'll kind of go through them as they come in. Let's start off with mindset. It's always good to start off with mindset because this whole game is about mindset. If you think about things like sports, they say sports is like 90% mindset or 80% mindset, 20% skill. When it comes to real estate, it's all mindset. There really is no what I would call skill in real estate. You can definitely develop tools, systems. You can develop speed in terms of pulling comps. You can build your resources. You can gain experience, right, from either mentorship, hands-on experience, like doing things like a boots on the ground training. There's a lot of stuff you can do, but it's all about your mindset at the end of the day. And when it comes to mindset, the question that you have to ask yourself and overcome, this is for like all of us, is what's holding you back from obtaining your dream lifestyle? For a lot of us, if you're here, part of your dream lifestyle is cash flowing real estate or just living off of real estate. Like you want to make enough money off of real estate so that you can leave the 9 to 5. That's your dream lifestyle. So you don't want to get caught up necessarily in the amount of money that you want to make necessarily, because you may be able to live that lifestyle with less money. For some of you, if your dream lifestyle is like driving a Lamborghini, you should probably go watch somebody else, because that's not really my thing. My thing is, financial freedom, breaking free from that 9 to 5, being able to spend time with your family. But you have to ask yourself this question every day, and you have to give yourself an honest answer of what is holding you back from obtaining your dream lifestyle. Because I talk to a lot of people, like every month. Some of you who are here now are definitely in the mentorship program, but some of you have called me. You're still sitting on the sidelines. Some of you haven't called yet. You're thinking about booking a call and speaking with me one-on-one, learning about mentorship, learning more about real estate. And what I'm hearing from you guys is all types of answers like, hey, I don't have enough money, or it's the credit that's holding me back. It's the area I'm in. The real estate market is not good enough. I'm too busy with the 9 to 5, the kids, the this, the that, the third. Maybe the timing just isn't right for one reason or another. But what's holding a lot of us back truly is fear. If you really boil it down, if you ask yourself that question, what's holding you back is fear. It's fear of making mistakes. It's fear of getting burned. Some of you have been burned before. You've had partnerships. You've had deals that have gone bad, that didn't work out, and you're afraid still. So your solution to being afraid is sitting on that sideline. But there's no reward for sitting on the sideline. Fear traps you, knowledge frees you. So the solution to your problems, what will get you from where you're at to your dream lifestyle, is knowledge of the process, tapping into somebody's blueprint who's already done this before. You do not have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be special. You just need to tap into a blueprint of somebody who's done this before. And you can copy your way just by copying a successful model to your first $1 million. You can copy your way to financial freedom once you get over your fear. So you have to identify that fear, because if you don't identify it, it will keep you trapped forever. That is what's holding you back. It won't be the knowledge, because one day you'll wake up, you'll get access to the knowledge, and you still won't take action. And you won't know, well, why? What's going on? Or the money will appear. Somebody will pop up, hey, I'll give you the money to invest in real estate. But you never got the knowledge because you were afraid. You were afraid of getting burned. You were afraid of making a costly mistake. You were afraid of the GC. You were afraid of the process. You were afraid of the market. So all of this mindset stuff is just about being honest with yourself, identifying your fear. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid of bankruptcy? Are you afraid of public ridicule? Like if you go and try real estate and you fail, people are going to laugh at you. What are your friends going to think? What's your family going to think? Maybe your spouse isn't supportive of your mission. So that's holding you back because they don't believe in your mission. So therefore, you don't believe in your mission. What is holding you back? Identify it and then crush it. Crush it. You have to get past that. If it's fear, just face the fear. The only way to get past your fear is to face it. So if your fear is of real estate itself, is of getting burned, one, get in a mentorship. Is definitely don't do the School of Hard Knocks because you probably will get burned trying to do this on your own. You'll fail forward, but you'll get burned along the way. You'll lose a lot of money. Get mentorship, get pushed, get the knowledge, get the blueprint, and then you will start to accelerate. So and most of the time, Tia said it's money. It's usually not money. It's usually not money. So a lot of us think it's money. So we sit on the sideline and we say, I don't have the money yet. But what's going to happen when the money appears? If I snap my fingers today, for everybody who has the money objection, if I snap my fingers and the money was there tomorrow in your bank account, you still wouldn't know how to invest in real estate. So it's not your problem. Your problem is knowledge. Your problem is experience. Your problem is still fear. You could have the money and still not know what to do with it. And there are tons of people out there, by the way, who have the money and have no idea what to do with it. They don't know how to invest still. Having money doesn't mean you magically know how to invest in real estate. They're two separate things. So money is almost never your problem. And it's definitely not a problem because there are ways to invest in real estate without cash. So it's still a knowledge-based problem. It's typically always knowledge-based, some knowledge-based issue. And the reason why is because fear traps you and knowledge frees you. So if you're stuck, it's because you're afraid. The replacement for being afraid is to replace fear with knowledge and with experience, because then you can just take action. You're no longer afraid of anything. People are afraid of what they don't know and what they don't understand, period. It's the us versus them. You're afraid of them because you don't know who they are. You don't know their customs. You're always afraid of what you don't know. And if you don't know real estate, then you're going to be afraid of real estate. It's just a fact. So, guys, let's jump into some questions. I just wanted to start with that mindset because, I talk to so many of you and I hear the same things over and over. And trust me, I get it. I understand being afraid. I understand getting burned, by partners and partnerships. I understand getting burned by contractors. I understand deals that don't work out the way you want them to work out. All of these things are part of the game. They're part of your evolution. But if you get stuck, that's when you truly lose. You never lose when you stay in motion. When you stay in motion, that's when you can take those learning lessons and get to the next level. That's how you can get to that next level. We said credit score and money to get started. It's still not that. I hate to break it to you guys, but it's still knowledge because you can invest without cash and credit. I used to believe some of these things as well. I need credit. I need the money to get started. You don't need the money to get started. You need the knowledge to get started. Once you have the knowledge, the money will appear. It will get to it will get to that. My guy Wesley said, anyone with the no cash or bad credit excuse just doesn't want to win. Take action. It doesn't happen overnight. Facts. A lot of us also don't understand that that's our problem. That's what's holding us back is we want instant ramen noodle results. We want just add water results in real estate. And real estate is a big boy game. And it can take time. Mentorship short circuits the amount of time that it takes to be successful. It short circuits it by about a decade, realistically. You can go to School of Hard Knocks. It's going to take you a decade to figure out what you could learn in mentorship in probably 30 days, realistically. But it's still not a get rich quick. This is not just add water. It's not like some instant game. You have to put in the time to get better because you have to realize that you're going to be playing this game for the rest of your life. Your goal is to live off of real estate and then play this game for the rest of your life and continue to win, continue to get bigger. So let's keep answering some of you guys' questions, and then I'll get into some of the questions that you guys have sent me because I got some good questions over the last 2 weeks. Joe Jordan, hey man, I'm doing a prospecting trip next week to start building out my real estate portfolio. What are some key things I should do during my week-long trip? You definitely, when you're just getting started in the business, the number one thing that you need is that physical hands-on experience. You need to go out and touch deals. It's actually one of the first things I do with my mentees, people who join the mentorship program. One of the things I always push you guys to do quickly is, hey, we're going to get in, we're going to lace you up with the education. I'm going to show you how to analyze deals. I'm going to get you connected with lenders. I'm going to do all of these things. And then I want you going out to see properties quickly. The reason why I want you guys going out to physically see properties is because every property you see reduces your fear. It reduces your fear factor because it's starting to replace the unknown with experience. So every property you stand in, boots on the ground in, and look around, look at the walls, look at where the outlets are located, feel the home shifting, the structural issues, shoot videos, ask questions, and then get answers, get rehab budgets, get bids, get estimates. Every time you do that, you start to build knowledge and that hands-on physical experience. And that provides you with a basis to make new, like, future decisions off of. So as that right deal pops up across your desk, and no matter who you are or how long you've been looking for the right deal, eventually that right deal will walk across your desk. If you have that experience of going out to see deals, touch and feel them, see what the asking price is, see what condition they're in, you can now identify the best deal. So when that perfect deal walks across your desk, you can tackle it. You can take it on. You can run your comps. You can run your numbers. You can do your analysis. This is part of the reason why I say money's not your problem, because even if you had money, if you don't know how to analyze deals, if you haven't been out scanning the market or doing some of this type of prospecting activity, which you can write this stuff off on taxes, by the way, guys. So a lot of this stuff, will improve your tax situation. But if you're not out doing this stuff, who cares if money appears? Money is not going to change your life. Knowledge is the only thing that is going to change your life, and that is going to get you guys where you want to go. Knowledge of real estate is money. That's really what a lot of us need to understand. Knowledge of money is the real money. Money is just paper. It's just an IOU. Knowledge of money and how money works and how to make money work for you, that's the real wealth. So the sooner you learn about money and how it works and how you can apply it to real estate, which is the biggest wealth tool that the average American has. It's created more wealth for the average American than any other asset class. It ain't your 401k. It's not a mutual fund. All that stuff's going to tank with the recession. The real estate is what is going to preserve your wealth, what is going to preserve your cash flow and keep you out of the 9 to 5. The knowledge is the power. The knowledge, as kind of saying, is what's going to get you guys there. So that's just something that you guys have to stay tapped into. But that's the number one thing you should do. Go out and see properties. Go out and see neighborhoods. Go in some rough neighborhoods too. Build up that experience. Go stand boots on the ground in the hood and get a feel for that, because that will make you battle tough. Go on some rough blocks. Maybe don't go alone and don't go at night, but go feel out some areas so that you have perspective. Some of the blocks that you think are really rough and the neighborhoods that you think are really rough, they're not. Some of them are, but some of them you'll say, hey, this pocket, even though this is in the C class, is kind of fine. People are just relaxing out here. And you'll see that, hey, there are opportunities where I can invest in the C class, buy some of those cheap properties and make a lot of money. So you start to understand that marketplace. So pretty much go find the aspects of the game that you're afraid of and go do them. Shake hands, kiss babies, connect with lenders, connect with title companies. Go meet some of the title companies in person. Just pop in. Hey, I was just in the area, wanted to introduce myself. I'm looking at investing in the area, just building my connections out. Definitely meet up with realtors. Start to assemble, that team. But more than anything, you're assembling that experience. So fly out. I believe, Jordan, you're going to Philly. I can definitely tap you into a couple of the projects, that I'm working on while you're there. So definitely, Jordan's in the mentorship program. Definitely reach out and let me know when you're going to be there. I'll get you plugged into some full gut renovation so you can see some rehabs that are actively going on and have a little bit of that experience as well. Rob says knowledge provides clarity. He said, I'm ready for the boots on the ground program. The boots on the ground program is where I'm, building houses for some of my mentees in Philly. So we build houses for you. We help you to find them. We tap you in with the lenders. We renovate them for you on a budget, and then we will help you to either flip them or to put tenant placement and property management in place, and just collect that mailbox money, collect that cash flow. So anybody who's interested in that, you guys, most of you have gotten like an email about that recently. That program is filling up. We don't have a lot of capacity. We typically are like always on the brink of just running out of capacity. But make sure you tap in. Make sure you reach out. However you got here, DM me, email me, text me. You guys have my contact info. Definitely reach out. Miguel said, what has been your biggest challenge doing business in real estate? Wow, there's so many challenges in real estate. I think the number one challenge is just staying in love with the game, because whenever you're doing something you love and at a high level, there's going to be things that test that. There's going to be people that test that. There's going to be contractors that steal from you for no reason. Like, one of the things you will learn, not only in the real estate business, but just in business in general, is there are bad people out there. There are people who are just out to steal, scam, rob, cheat, and steal. Like, they do what we call bad business. And that's what their intent is to do. There are people out there who their intent is to do good business. Like, they're just stand-up people, they're honorable, and they want to put out a good product. They show up on time, they do what they say they're going to do. Then there are people who all they've been doing is bad business for the last 20 years. And they're contractors like this. And then you come along and you're honorable and you're good and you want to treat them well, and you'll hire them and, hey, give me a budget, give me a bid. They'll put in a bid, and then they'll double order materials so that they can steal materials from your pocket, literally like $2,000 from your pocket, take it to another job. So they're going to steal from you. And that's their intent. And that's just how they do business. And they feel like, well, if you don't know any better, it's your fault. Like, they're wired incorrectly. So you will run into a lot of bad people. You will run into a lot of people who want to do bad business. And this is one of the things that mentorship can save you from, because even if you have general knowledge, if you don't know how to identify bad people or how to watch people or put up security systems and cameras in place to prevent theft, you're just going to get robbed until you wake up and figure it out. So this is why I tell people so many times, like, trust me, I get these calls and it's like, what's the cost of mentorship? You learn the cost of mentorship. And some people are like, oh man, I think I'll keep my money and then I'll just invest it. And that way I'll save. I'm just going to, I don't want the expense of mentorship. And it's like, you're going to pay. You can't cheat the game. You're going to pay. You will pay less in the cost of mentorship than you will pay getting robbed on one deal by one of these contractors. On one deal, they could rob you for 10 to 20 grand. You just don't understand that yet. So you think that you can cheat mentorship. You can cheat the game and just take your money. You're going to be the lucky one that goes out and just gets it right. There are no lucky ones. You're going to go out. You're going to hire the wrong people. You're not going to have, somebody who's done this hundreds of times watching your back, and you're going to get robbed. Hopefully not robbed blind. Hopefully not one of those situations where the contractor gets, all the money up front and then runs off the job and you get no work done. But even if you're lucky, they're going to overorder materials. They're going to blow an unreal amount of deadlines. You're going to get bad appraisals. You're just going to deal with a lot of drama until you figure the game out. And it's an unforgiving game. So this is not a video game. This is not even the stock market. In the stock market, you can run in and you can go and buy stuff and just hope for the best. And this isn't even that. You can really get caught up in a deal. I mean, you could get into a deal and a contractor steals 20 grand and then you ran out of money, but you still have a $150,000 loan out. And then that's accruing interest. And you're in that type of position. This is not the game to play around in. So I just highly don't recommend this game without some form of mentorship, people who've done it before, who are around you, guiding you, at least on your first several deals until you get the hang of it. But the biggest challenge is being able to recognize the scam artists. They're always out there. They're always lurking. Sometimes you can, push them off. They'll come back around a year later. Like if you just don't know how to recognize these people, it's only a matter of time until you get burned. Once you get burned a couple of times, then you'll be able to see it as clear as day. So that is a big challenge. In this game, there's multiple other challenges dealing with lenders, dealing with the money people who are out to not necessarily scam you, but try to control you with contracts, steal from you in a different type of a way. So there's just a variety of, it's a big, like I said, it's a big boy game. People are playing for keeps. And there are people out here whose intent is to do bad business. So let's get into some of the questions you guys have been asking. And guys, keep the questions coming in the chat, in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment that says I subscribe so that I can send you instant access to that free real estate training. We'll show you how to acquire properties for pennies on the dollar all across the country. You guys don't want to miss out on that free offer. And share this with somebody who you think will get value. If you think of somebody in your circle who could benefit from cash flowing real estate, from breaking free from the 9-to-5, getting out of that rat race, share it. And a lot of us could. And guys, sitting on the sideline, the last thing about sitting on the sideline, or maybe last thing for now, we're not getting any younger. None of us. We don't have a year or two. It's kind of arrogant of all of us to think, oh, well, I'll get around to it in 2 years. You might not be on the planet in 2 years, but how many 2 years do you have? You figure if you're 40 right now, how many 2-year cycles do you have? 10 2-year cycles, you're 60. 10 more, you're 80. You don't have many 2 years to just blow off. You got to get after this thing, like now. It's as serious as a heart attack. It's time to get after the real estate so that you can retire, so that you can get out of the 9-to-5 and get free. So don't sit on the sidelines. Sitting on the sidelines is a byproduct of you being afraid. It means you're in fear, period. You can come up with whatever excuse you want. It's the money, it's the this. It means you're in fear. When I peel back all that onion, it's fear is left. I'm afraid I'm going to get burned. That's the truth. A lot of us just aren't prepared to tell ourselves that truth. When investing out of town, what can I do to see if an area is safe to invest in? There's a lot of apps out there. You used to be able to do something as simple as going Trulia.com, and Trulia had a crime map that would pretty much break down for you. Somebody said, yeah, it's fear for me. The crime map would basically break down for you what areas were like bad. So the bad areas would be shaded in red, and then there would be like green would be the best, and then yellow was kind of like what I would consider C class. Britton said, I'm afraid I won't be able to take care of my family. Good fears, but fear traps you. Knowledge frees you. It's just all these things just point you to knowledge. You got to get knowledge of how to be able to keep your family financially stable and secured through other means. Even the fact that you have that fear shows you that the current path that you're on is not leading you to financial freedom and security. Or you wouldn't be thinking that way. You would be thinking more like, I'm good. I'm on the path. Everything's good. My family's going to be good. You wouldn't have that fear. But real estate can give you that freedom. The 9-to-5 never will, because that's not the job of the 9-to-5. The 9-to-5's job is to give you the liquidity, the capital. For the money people, I don't have the money. Get a different 9-to-5. Get the money and get the knowledge, and then take that excess money and apply it to real estate. But some of these fears all indicate that you need more knowledge of how money works and how to leverage it. I was watching something, and then I'll get back to kind of the crime maps and the safety. I was watching something recently, and they were talking about like being afraid and kind of working a 9-to-5 and where it leads you. So the guy asked, he's like, how much money do you have saved? And the guy's like, he's like 42. He's like, how much money do you have in the bank? He's like, well, I got $2,000 in the bank. How long have you been working? Since I was 16. He's like, so you've been working like 30 years. You've been working 20 years, 25 years, and you only have $2,000 to show for it. And he's just like, kinda. And he's like, so something's wrong. Something's broken here. We got to fix it, because there's no way you should be working that long and only have a couple grand. That means something's wrong. That means you need assistance. You need mentorship. You need guidance, because you should be further along than that after working that long. You should not still be in this position. And if you continue on that current path, aren't you going to stay there? And then what happens when you're too old to continue to work? You know, it's a position you don't want to be in. So you used to have these truly a crime maps. Now you have to get a bit more sophisticated. So you have websites like crimereport.com where you can go on, type in addresses, and kind of look. I like looking at blogs as well. So there are like travel advisory blogs that you can go into, type in neighborhoods, and people who grew up in these neighborhoods are still living in there or who moved back there recently, they will leave commentary in these blogs that'll tell you, oh no, this neighborhood's cool or this one's rough. It seems worse or it's worse in the papers than it really is here. You might have to move different here. You can also use the Citizens app. If you go on your smartphone, there's an app called the Citizens app, and you can punch in addresses on that application. And whenever anything happens in neighborhoods, the people who have this app will report it onto the Citizens app, and you can pretty much see what's going on, like where people are getting like robbed or if there was a fire or any of that stuff. So you can kind of learn neighborhoods, especially rough C-class neighborhoods, through the Citizens app. So I recommend that app as well. Let's we got more questions. In your opinion, with the market being the way it is right now, is fix and flipping a good thing to do in the Houston area? Um, I I will have to really take a very close look because we're talking like micro specific. There's definitely still opportunity in Houston. You know, we have people in the mentorship program in that area. I've definitely looked at it, you know, over the last month. There's opportunity. It's not really a question of like, would flipping be bad? Flipping is not bad, but you can't be on the aggressive end of the spectrum. You actually shouldn't be on the aggressive end of the spectrum with any of this investing. You want to be buying your properties for 30 cents on the dollar, 40 cents on the dollar, and then renovating them and selling them. You want to be all in on your acquisition and your renovation at about 65%, maybe 70% of the after repair value. If you do that in almost any market, you would be relatively safe, right? So if you're all in at 65, 70 cents on the dollar, even if the market collapsed, a collapse right now in this market is probably going to be like 10%, 15%. You would still have some profitability. Maybe you break even on the deal after closing costs, transaction fees, things of that nature. But it's still a good time to buy and flip. I would argue it's a better time to buy and flip now than even pre-COVID to a degree because there's the market is just flat. It's stable. And interest rates are projected to go back down. We talked about that on the last slide. So rates are projected to go back down. As rates drop, prices are going to go back up. So if you're working on projects right now, the market should support and then add some upside, you know, to a lot of those values on the sale side. So it's still a good time, but you don't want to be buying properties at 70 cents on the dollar, trying to put in 20 cents, then you're already at 90 cents on the dollar. Then if the market pulls back, you're flat, right? You want to be in with a nice what I would call a conservative ARV, conservative appraised value. So flipping is still good. The BRRRR strategy has gotten harder because rates are up, because lenders are squeamish. The BRRRR strategy has gotten harder. So investment properties, getting financing purely for investment purposes is more difficult now because credit availability has been compressing a bit because of what's happening in the commercial market. It all impacts, you know, like everything. So even though residential real estate is still stable, because the commercial deals are getting blown up, the office space deals, and the banks finance those too, because they're losing money over there, they're becoming more conservative everywhere because they have that feeling like we can't lose in any other sector. So we just got to go conservative mode. So that money is getting more expensive on the BRRRR strategy side. But flipping is actually a good technique right now to have a mixture of the two, where you're flipping a couple of properties and then you're holding some properties. And so you're creating that liquidity on the flip side and then parking it into other deals. But Houston, I would keep going on, but you have to be tight on your deal analysis. so that you can pick the right deals. You just can't run in and do any old deal. You have to do the right deal in this market. Shallon, I believe we spoke, and you're from Canada. I believe you're from like Ontario. You can correct me if I'm wrong. When investing out of town, how can you tell which areas are quote up and coming? You got to talk to somebody local. You got to talk to somebody local, right? That's why you want to dig into the blogs. You want to read about them. So if I wanted to learn Philly, I would go Philly top 10 neighborhoods, Google it, get into some blogs, get on Bigger Pockets, and start digging in and hearing from the locals, hearing from the other people. Ask local realtors. So you could connect with, like, you could go see a property listed by a seller's agent, call the seller's agent, tell them you're an investor. Hey, I invest in buy and hold properties. What are some good markets? And hear it from them, because the realtors are out and about within those markets. So they have expert level local knowledge. And that's one thing that realtors are great for. They're experts at. So you should be digging through blogs, asking questions to people who are local to that market. And those are two easy ways to get to that knowledge. So in doing that, you will learn up and coming areas. But and this will kind of get into the next question we have, which is which I get a lot. What's the difference between the A, B, and C class areas? You have to have an understanding of that. What is the A, B, and C class? Because just because an area is up and coming doesn't necessarily mean that it's a pocket that you want to invest in, because it may be in an A, B, or C class, and there's different strategies that you need to master when investing in each class. I tell people it really should be written A, C, and B class, because the A and C class are always interconnected. The B class is not. People think it's a straight line, like you drive from the A straight through the B into the C, but it's really A class straight into the C class. And then if you go through the C class long enough, you'll get to the B class. That's kind of how it works. But that's what you should be doing to tap into some of that. And I'll get into this A, B, and C class question. Britton said, I'm a slave to the 9 to 5. You don't have to be. I mean, we're all we've all been there. We've all been stuck in the 9 to 5. But you just have to stay tapped in. I want to bring this question up. He said, hold on, bro, you're no different. Are you willing to mentor without asking anything in return? Listen, my time has become very compressed. If you're good at anything, you don't do it for free. And no, I can't work with everyone. There has to be a barrier to entry. I can't work with everyone. I can't work with everyone for free. That just is not something that I can do at the end of the day. So I don't work for free. There is a cost to mentorship. And in life, you get what you pay for. So you definitely want to tap into the right program. You have to evaluate for yourself, no matter who you are. You have to go out and do your research. I encourage people to research me. Watch these lives, attend live calls. You can connect with me and my team, talk to me one-on-one. You can read articles and do Google searches. And I encourage everybody to do the research. But if anybody's out there like, hey, I'm going to hold your hand and carry you and do this all one-on-one for free, here's what you'll get, actually, because I have had mentors who've worked with me for free, right? And here's what you get for free. Here's the truth. There is no program put together. So yes, I have mentors that are like, hey, Brian, I'm wearing my Columbia shirt. Hey, we went to Columbia. I went to Columbia. You went to Columbia. I want to mentor you. And you can get a cup of coffee with them once a year, or a lunch, maybe once a year, or maybe a phone call once a year, completely unguided. There's no program put together to show you step by step how they got to where they are. There's no course content. There's no one-on-one calls. There's no dedicated time. There's no focus. So you can't get a decade or 20 years worth of gain from a mentor in a free setting. The free setting, it's out there. If you want to go get free mentorship, go get it. And you'll get a cup of coffee and a lunch once a year. And you'll learn enough to get excited while you're with your mentor, but there will be no dedicated program to truly get you results and get you to where you want to go. So if you want that, it's out there, man. It's out there 100%. And I encourage you to go for it, and you'll get out of it what you'll get out of it. But for that true dedicated one-on-one time where you can get on a Zoom call, where you can text and email and get responses, and a dedicated course content that will break down step by step how somebody scaled from 0 to over 300 properties, that ain't free. So I would encourage you, and yeah, Tom said the YouTube is free. You're here and you're getting free game right now. So your question is, am I willing to mentor you? I'm mentoring you right now. I gave you a mindset training to start this. I'm giving you free Q&A. I'm mentoring you right now, and happy to do it. And I'm here every week, which is more than we can say about some of the other talking heads you guys know. I don't need to name drop them, but talking heads who consider themselves gurus, they're not doing live calls once a week for people to tap in and learn and stay motivated. So definitely here to help, giving you the free game. And this is more free game than my mentors ever gave me on these lives for free. But that dedicated one-on-one time, it's for the people who are willing to invest in themselves. Quite frankly, you're not investing in me, you're investing in you with the cost of mentorship. You're buying into your success, and you're putting money on the table so that you focus and stay dedicated until you get what you want. But it's a good question. That's why I brought it up. And I'm not going to back down from any of these types of questions. I'll just answer them, truthfully. How long does the mentor stay with you, or does it depend on your confidence? It's a good question. A bad mentor wants you with them forever. They want you dependent on them, in fact, so that they can continue to upsell you. They want to upsell you for life. So they view you as a number, and they say, okay, well, I'll get these people in, and then X amount of them I can upsell to this. And then they just keep creating a ladder. They call it a value ladder that they try to upsell you up. Now, a really good mentor is going to make you into a mini-me, essentially. They're going to give you all of the game that you need to truly become a master investor. When you're a master investor, you're now a free thinker. As a free thinker, you can go out and invest in any market. You have multiple strategies. You have all the resources because they tapped you in. You have all the knowledge you need to be successful. You're so knowledgeable that you can go and teach your family and your friends. That's a good mentor. So it's not a question of how long a mentor stays with you or your own confidence. It's how good is your mentor. If your mentor is really good, you won't need to be with them for longer than a year. You can always tap back into them as you're scaling up and doing different things, but you won't need them for longer than a year. It would be redundant, because a good mentor is kind of like a good coach. Like a good coach, after a while, you just know how they think. You don't need them constantly correcting you. You know what they're going to say, because they say the same thing over and over, and they teach you exactly how to play the game. So then they're just kind of like this voice in your head. And that's what you're looking for when you're investing into a coaching or mentorship program, not a guru course where you sign up and you just get like a call every once in a while. There's no one-on-one support. That's a guru course. But a true mentorship program, you're looking for somebody who can build you into another version of themselves that is a free, independent thinker that can go out and produce and take care of their family. That's the goal. Let's see what other questions. Mabel said, what percentage of your mentees have success? The mentees who stay tapped in have success. The mentees who follow the system and follow the process and follow instructions have high success. For some reason, there are people who will tap into a mentorship program and disappear. They just disappear. It's like a ghost, like they're gone. The people who stay tapped in, who text, it's kind of like if you went to a teacher. If you went to a teacher at Columbia University and you say, what percentage of your students get A's? The teacher will probably say the ones that show up, and probably the ones that participate, the ones that ask questions. A lot of the ones that sit in front of the class and ask a lot of questions, they get a lot of answers, and then they go out and apply those answers, and they win. So the people who apply it win. They win like with a 90+%, success rate. And real estate itself, if you look at it statistically, has about an 80% success rate. Most business, 9 out of 10 businesses fail. That's not the case with real estate. It has almost a 70 to 80% success rate in real estate. So if you get into real estate and you find a good mentor who can get you over the hump, get you through a couple of deals, you'll be able to take a couple of deals, turn it into 20, 30 deals. And then you'll evolve and iterate to the next level. But the success is definitely there. It's just about you. It's about, are you ready? Are you dedicated? Not everybody's dedicated. And a mentor can't, put a gun to your head, a metaphorical gun to your head, and then force you to do real estate, right? You have to stay committed. You have to stay tapped in. You have to not be distracted by life. You have to understand that this is something you're going to do for the rest of your life. And you're looking to pick up a skill set. This is truly learning how to fish, not being given a fish. This is not like, oh, put in $500 and then you're going to get 2% returns every month. And it's not that. This is not get rich quick, but you can get rich. you can, and more than rich, you'll get wealthy through real estate if you just apply it. But the process works. The plan works when you work the plan. Shalyn said, yes, I'm from Toronto. We spoke maybe 2 months ago. You still should tap into, Shalyn, into that boots on the ground program. I know you and your husband were thinking about it. You should tap into that boots on the ground program, and or just the mentorship program, so we can show you guys, how to tap into some of these East Coast markets that are pretty close to you guys and more profitable. I believe you were looking at like Washington, or Milwaukee, I want to say, as a market. I believe that's what you were looking into. Ace do say you're going to pay one way or another. You are. It's not me. It's not just me saying it. Like this is just the truth. You're going to pay one way or another. Mentorship will save you a lot. You'll pay a lot less. School of Hard Knocks will break you. Either way, you're going to pay. B Grimes is the truth. I appreciate that. I'm just out here trying to give you guys the real, because nobody told me this. I wish somebody sat me down and was like, listen, B, the School of Hard Knocks is going to cost you 100x. I would have looked harder for a mentor. I was halfway looking for a mentor, and then I couldn't really find what I was looking for, and I was half-ass looking, and then I should say, well, I'll just go out in the School of Hard Knocks. What's the worst that's going to happen? No, the worst happened. I saw what the worst was. It's pretty ugly. I'll probably write a book about it. My wife tells me when I write my book, it's going to be a bestseller. We'll see if she's right, but there's a lot of stuff that's going to go in this book. But yeah, you're going to pay either way. So you're not hurting my feelings. Like some of us, we get on the call and like, nah, I think mentorship is too expensive. It's like, well, you're not hurting my feelings. God bless. Good luck with the journey. But you're going to kick yourself when you get burned for that first 10 grand. You're going to look at the fractional cost of mentorship and say, I could have saved a lot of money just getting into mentorship, not getting burned for 10, 20,000 on this deal. Because you guys think mentally that, like, I want to put a scenario in front of you guys. Let's say, like I was talking to a guy, he's from Philly, my market, right? So you're talking about a market I've done over 200 deals in. He's in my market. I can tap him into contractors, architects, engineers, permit expediters, lenders, everything. He's sitting on 18 grand, right? He can take a fraction of that and get into mentorship. He chooses to not, and he's going to go because he thinks it's smarter to take that 18K, all of it, and apply it to a deal. He does not understand that he could go belly up on this deal. He truly does not understand. He thinks, oh, well, I'll just take, he thinks that the choice is to just either do mentorship or not do it, and then invest the whole 18K and win. And that's not really the choice. The choice is you can take that 18K and invest it and get burned for 20 grand, more money than you even have, and just get buried in a deal and just be out of the game. Maybe have to file a little bankruptcy or something, or just be sitting there now working a 9 to 5 to pay off a loan for a property that sit vacant. That's the reality of what happens. And there's no safety net in this game, and nobody cares. The lender doesn't care that the contractor ran off. They're just looking at you like, well, you rolled the dice and you lost. So you guys really have to understand this game and the decisions that you're making. Like I said, if somebody dropped this type of knowledge on me early on, there's no question I would have looked way harder for mentorship, and I wouldn't have lost $500,000 like I lost. Maybe I would have lost 10 grand. And if you're looking at that, hey, you're going to lose $500,000. If I could fast forward you and really show you the journey, you are going to lose $500,000, or you could save. With mentorship, you could lose maybe 10 grand if you lost at all, like worst case. And that means you could save 490,000 and then take that 490,000 and reinvest it into the game and get a return on that. Where will you be? How many more properties could you acquire? especially if you take $490,000 cash, because we're talking cash here, and then you get leverage with a lender on top of that. It's about 5 million to 10 million of purchasing power with leverage. I mean, this is a serious business. Pete, does the current market have a negative impact on cash out refinancing? I mean, yes, it does, because, well, interest rates do, right? So you can only cash out refinance if the debt can be serviced. So you can still refinance all of your money out, but there's not a lot of excess in most deals. If you could find a really juicy deal that allows you to cash out refinance, but they're fewer and further in between. In 2018, 2019, you could cash out refinance every deal you touch. And I believe that as rates go back down next year, towards the tail end of next year, cash out refinances will be back on the table. And this is why I'm telling you guys, you need to learn how to invest. You need to learn now, because if you wait, you're going to miss it. You're not going to just magically get the money or the rates go down and now you're just like, oh, I'm a master investor. It doesn't happen that way. You'd wish you had gotten started a year prior, learned a game, got a couple deals under your belt. Then when the rates fall, it's a window. These things never last. So it'll be like a 1-year window. The question is, how fast can you run in that window? You might be able to run up all 10 or 15 of the deals that you need to break free from the 9 to 5 in 1 year with the right market conditions. So missing that 1 year might trap you in a 9 to 5 for another decade. That's the best way I can say it. I haven't said it that clearly, but that's what's going on. That's why you can't sit on the sidelines. Because if you sit on the sidelines and a window opens up and you have no idea what you're doing, then you're like, oh, I'll just get in Brian's mentorship program. And I'm like, sorry, man, we're at capacity. Good luck. Go get in a guru course. Go get in a guru course with no one-on-one support and hope for the best. And then you get lost in that and upsold and upsold and upsold and nothing, because they just squeezed you, because they're not really trying to help you. And you can't tell the difference between a guru and a mentor. Like it's going to happen to a lot of people, but it's part of it. Yeah, mentor time is money taken away from their family. Absolutely. We all only have 24 hours in a day. I'm no different than any of you guys. I have 24 hours in a day, just like you. So when I spend time with you one-on-one, that's time that I could be doing other things. I could be building houses, right? So there is no more important time that could be spent on you and your journey. There's almost not really an appropriate price you could put on that. But for those who can get that access, they take advantage of it. For those who don't understand value, then they just suffer the consequence of not understanding value. Like I said, none of it can hurt, will hurt me. It will hurt you more than me. I just changed the two guys' life by adding 100K to one and adding 400K to another. Brian, have you ever heard of land bank properties? Heard of that term first time last week? Definitely. There's a land bank in almost every major city. These are programs that buy vacant land. It's basically the city. They get funding to buy vacant land, and then they take it and they auction it off, to investors, people like me and you. But they'll do it cheaply. They'll also package land and do what's called RFPs, requests for a proposal, to developers, people like you and me, definitely minority developers as well, who can take on 10 lots, 12 lots at once, and then ground up 10 townhomes and do affordable housing, or create workforce housing, or different things that are good for the community. So yeah, there's a land bank in almost every major city, and it's a great place to get deals, but they're looking for people with experience, which is why you need to get experience. You guys need to get in the game, because even that stuff, the land banks, the RFPs that you could be tapping into, the land deals you could be tapping into, you're not going to win. You're not going to get them just because you finally saved up 20K. Nobody cares. They're going to be like, great, you saved up 20K. God bless you. Do you know anything about real estate? But if you do know, then they're going to be like, all right, well, you don't even really need the money. Here's the land. Connect with this community lender. Boom. Now you're in a deal. Yeah. So there's definitely a lot to this game. Execution is what wins. watching from the sidelines gets you an L. It gets you a guaranteed L. And people ask for results. What are the results of your mentees? Well, I've been in the mentorship program for 3 months, closed my first deal 2 weeks ago. So 90 days to your first deal. I mean, somebody will say, "Oh, you paid him to say that." Come on, man. People are getting results. I was on a call today with somebody on a Zoom call, and I'm getting texts from other mentees like, "Hey, I just got this deal under contract off a bandit sign," and I'm like, "Whoa." People are getting results all over. I'm getting all these texts constantly, and it's you guys are making it happen. Wesley tapped in 2 to 3 months ago for mentorship. My confidence and my knowledge is crazy. I damn near feel like I'm ready now, just looking for the right deal. Yeah, and me and Wes are talking about. We looked at deals. You just sent me a deal yesterday. That was out in a 19134 zip. So yeah, we're looking at deals. We're connected one-on-one. We're giving feedback and trying to get you guys to the next level. But Wes is a guy. See, Wesley is a guy who's tapped in. He's texting me. He's asking questions. He's staying plugged in. That's why I know he's going to get to the chicken. He's going to get to it. And he's young. So once he gets there, he's going to be out of the 9 to 5 before he hits 30. Way before he hits 30. And then for the rest of his life. That's why I do this program. That's why I do this program. Cynthia said, great answer. No one should have to justify getting paid for mentorship. Knowledge is power and knowledge is value. Yeah, I shouldn't have to justify the cost of mentorship, but I am giving you this game for free. So you kind of got your answer there too. It's like I'm giving you free game. You're getting free mentorship, but also my experience on free mentorship is it pales in comparison. I'd rather get paid mentorship at the end of the day, because you can get a deal in 90 days with paid mentorship. With free mentorship, you'll get a cup of coffee and a lunch once a year for 10 years, and you'll be sitting on the sidelines wondering what to do. And who needs that? We're all getting older. None of us are getting younger. When is the next ride along? I have to really plan that out. I'll shoot you a text, Shalyn. But I have to plan that out. I've been spending so much time with my mentees that I haven't really, Milwaukee. Good memory, Brian. Yeah, I knew we were talking about Milwaukee. I have to plan that out. I think it'll be probably sometime in September for the next ride along. I'll take out maybe 10, 15 people. I'm not going to take out a ton of people, but I'll keep you plugged into that. Yeah, we got to get you out of Milwaukee. It's a more expensive market. Get you over to the Northeast and get you into more cash flow. Jonathan said, I told B he almost given it away. Yeah, he got in a mentorship program. He said, B, I almost paid 40 grand to get in this program. He's like, get that game ASAP. It costs more at school. He's about to pay 40 grand to go to school. Got to the mentorship program. Boom. And I laced him up with all types of resources immediately. I think it was 2-3 days. We had the land deal just in motion. So yeah, I mean, I'm not here to convince you guys. You guys got to do your research. Go try to tap into a guru course. Ask them, hey, do I get to spend one-on-one time with so-and-so? They'll be like, no. They'll probably laugh you off the phone. You never know who knows. Someone could partner on a deal and you use less of your money. Exactly. Once you have the knowledge, you can get tapped in. Roland said a contractor can easily squeeze you on each line item if you do not have the knowledge. Brian helps you understand the process better. Like, if I tell you the cost of mentorship and you're like, you can look at it, so it's finite. So you can say, no, I don't want to pay that. But you can't tell the contractor, I don't want to get squeezed for 10 grand on this deal. You can't say anything to them. They're just going to squeeze you. You're going to pay the ignorant, what they call it is an ignorance tax. You guys should remember that phrase, an ignorance tax. So you will pay the ignorance tax if you choose to be ignorant and still step foot into this game. You're going to get taxed. And that tax is expensive. That tax is super expensive. And Luke said, I believe I'm the example you brought up. Haha, I do see the truth to what you preach. Luke, I mean, what's up, bro? You sitting here in Philly. What's up, man? You got to tap in, bro. I don't want to see you get burned, but I know Philly, man. I'm from Philly. I've been out in Philly. It's the Wild West. And if you want to play, you better be practicing your gunslinging. If you want to play with these guys have been scamming for years. Some of these guys have been scamming since you were a baby. I mean, they got game. So it takes time to learn that game. But you don't need to learn that game because there's nothing really to learn. There's nothing to learn that I can't teach you. There's no value to learning it other than being able to prevent it from happening to you and people you care about. I care about you guys. So I come in and give you the game and protect you. Outside of that, there's no value to me having gotten burned for $500,000. There's no value to it unless I give it back to you guys. Wow. Ace Dude said, I signed up for mentorship a few weeks ago and I'm scheduled to close on June 28th. Again, B Grimes got the true real estate knowledge. Another person that maybe I paid two people, right? to come into the mentorship program and get deals quickly. Yeah. You know, we gotta stay tapped in, guys. And I appreciate you guys encouraging each other in the chat as well. In older homes, what are some of the common problems that come up? I've already done a sewer scope and full inspection. It really is. When you go in these older homes, they will have that cast iron plumbing. That cast iron plumbing is going to rot out. It's going to rust out, and it's going to leak. So you got to get once you open up the stack in the wall, and you see that cast iron, you got to rip that thing out. You got to do the all new plumbing. In a lot of these older homes also, you can't see what's behind the walls. Whenever I'm buying a really old house, I'd rather full gut renovate it. I'd rather tear it down to the studs and renovate it. Even if I'm not reframing it out, I want to really get into the wiring of the property because sometimes that wiring it's a old like knob and tube wiring that they spliced into newer wiring, and that stuff can come undone. Sometimes it might be like a hack job electrician. They just slap some electric tape around it, but it comes undone. It can spark into the insulation in the walls and cause an electric fire. It happens all the time. So, issues like that, you have to watch out for on some of these older houses. You really want to be able to get in and renovate, do heavy renovations. So when I'm buying properties, this is why I'm trying to buy for pennies on a dollar so that I can do extensive renovations and really cover my issues. I know, Roland, you tap into a lot of historic properties that are in historic districts. We talked about historic districts and how you better make sure the exterior of the property is immaculate and that the windows are functional and don't need to be changed. And you don't want to make mistakes in a historic district of popping out windows and taking doors off and different things because those historic doors cost 10x what a regular door would cost. Same thing for the windows, same things, for anything. So that could be a very costly mistake that a lot of us, once again, there's no value in making that mistake. There's no value other than learning how to not make it again and protecting somebody else from making that mistake. So it's really looking at the guts of the property. The HVAC is, here or there, but it's really the plumbing and the electric that you want to get right in every property that you renovate. You want to make sure that's perfect, especially if you're going to hold this as a rental. Because what's going to happen? Leaks. And then on the electric side, people are plugging in. As technology advances, everybody's got to plug in their smartphone. I mean, I got wires popping out of kind of, every outlet in the bedroom, right? You got this plugged in, the two laptops, the iPad, the laptop, the phone, the little headphone case, everything's plugged in. So if you don't have your electric right, they're going to keep popping a fuse. You got the electric stove, maybe you got the dishwasher, you got the microwave, and that's pulling a lot of voltage. So everything's pulling massive voltage these days. So you got to make sure your electric game is really tight. Jonathan said facts. I've been exposed to his network and it's priceless. Brian's network is as extensive as his experience, content, and resources. Endless mentorship and resources. I mean, guys, it is what it is, man. Yeah, sometimes cities have to give away that land from the land banks for $1. JG, Brian's wisdom, empathy, and ability to navigate scenarios is unparalleled. Sincerely thankful for his knowledge and willingness to lean in to date. Definitely, you guys know I'll get in the weeds with you. You guys hit me up on a holiday, I still get into the weeds with you. So you guys know what it is, man. There's nobody doing this. This is why sometimes people ask me, they're like, "Can you tell me about like a comparable program?" There is no comparable program out there. There is nobody doing mentorship at this level out in this game. They don't want to. They don't want to work this hard. It's not easy. Maybe I make it look easy. Maybe I make it look effortless to keep popping on lives once a week and answering texts and doing these one-on-one calls with you guys and doing all this stuff. Maybe it looks really easy. It's not. You got to work hard. You got to work hard. You got to care. You got to love the game. And a lot of these guys don't love the game. They love the Lamborghini. They love what the game can get, but they don't love the game. Wesley said, ride along in Philly soon. I could pop a ride along next week. I'll put out a feeler. If people want to do a ride along, what's it, June? If people want to do a ride along in July, I'll do a ride along in July. I'll put out a feeler. If we can get 10, 15 bodies together, I'll do a ride along in July. I don't care. I know a lot of us can take some time off in the summer. Maybe we'll do a ride along in July, another one in September. So I'll put a feeler out. We're working on probably 10 full gut jobs right now. So I can take you around the city. We'll grab a cheesesteak. We'll get our boots on the ground. We'll see some crazy stuff. And there's no experience. I will say that the people who've done the ride along, they're just like, man, there's nothing like this. There's no experience like this. So definitely. JG said all these topics are elementary and he can go 100 times deep on this and many others. I'm several homes in with him with dozens more to go. Facts. Seriously, Brian's YouTube channel is mentorship. 3 months in and looking to close on a multi next month. Everybody keeps saying the same thing. 3 months in and they're ready. 3 months in and they're knowledgeable. 90 days with me it's like your makeover, man. It's like going in and getting a complete refresh, but with real estate. Say if you in Philly, yeah, they calling you out, Luke. Antonio called you out. I said, you in Philly? Tapping in with Brian is the easiest no-brainer. It really is the easiest no-brainer on the planet. I mean, we got people tapping in from freaking Hawaii. You're literally in my backyard. You got to tap in. R Breezy, my guy Ryan. Do you think buying a lot and doing a ground up construction deal is more profitable than buying shell properties? It's not. So, great question. Let me frame it correctly. Doing ground up deals exclusively is more scalable than doing shell based renovations. Why is it more scalable? Because it's just like a math problem. Like you just lay it up, line it up, buy the land, get the plans, and you just execute based on a time schedule and kind of fixed pricing. And there's nothing to run into because it's all new, right? So the problem with ground up is it's slower. The average deal is going to take 12 months. It could go faster, but let's just be conservative. 12 months, average deal. If you're doing residential, if you're doing commercial, like five units or more, it could take upwards to 16 months because it's just going to move slower and the process is going to be a little different. I won't get into all the wrinkles. So it's slower. Therefore, it's less profitable because of the velocity of money. You could do in a year, if you were doing shells, you could do 50 shells. Let's say you could do 50 shells or 10 ground up deals. You're going to make more money doing them 50 than the 10. So the speed of the money on the shells, because it's faster to renovate them, there's more of them, you can buy them quicker, and you can execute on them just faster, and you can scale up crews faster. But the shell game requires more active management than the ground up game. The caveat is if you go out 2 years and you keep stacking land and unlocking deals, it's going to start to feel like every month you're at the finish line on a ground up deal. So when you create a pipeline of ground up deals, you can now have the feeling like this is better than even shells because it's less management and you have the pipeline and it's just constantly coming to completion. But when you're first starting that business, you can get into the shell business in 2-3 months. It's going to take you longer to get into the ground up business. So heads you win, tails you don't lose. Older homes is always a risk. Definitely. Older homes is a risk, but you mitigate risk in real estate by buying low and with and having enough room spread for a big rehab budget. That's how you mitigate risk. Because you can solve a lot with 100K. Money solves problems. In real estate, it really solves problems. Ace Deuce said, when you make a profit on a flip and do a 1031 exchange, do you have to invest the entire amount into the next real estate investment, or can you just invest a percentage? There's different ways to skin that cat. It depends on how you do it. But when you're doing a flip, that's typically a short-term transaction that you can't 1031. In order to 1031, you have to hold the property for a year and a day. So it's actually, the 1031 is actually more of a buy and hold strategy. It's more of a buy and hold strategy by nature, not really for flips. If you're flipping, you may want to look into like an S corp, and talk to your accountant about setting up an S corp for flipping, because you can retain earnings. There's different games you can play with an S corp. Dr. Glock said, can you discuss your lender connections and industry connections? I mean, I talk about them all the time. 100% lenders, people that will give you 100% of the money to acquire and renovate properties for a living. Industry connects, architects, engineers, contractors, permit expediters. There's even more connections. There's different types of lenders. So there's hard money lenders, private money lenders, commercial lenders. There's different types of lenders that will work with you even if you don't have any credit or you have bad credit. They'll still work with you. So we have those types of connections. National lenders, local community-based lenders that we have connections with. So there's a lot of different industry resources and connections. And then there's also just industry specific knowledge. So having done hundreds of appraisals, I've probably dealt with coming up on like 1,000, but definitely over 900 appraisals. So having that knowledge of how the appraisal game works, how to challenge appraisals, how to see different issues. This is a funny story. So me and my brother are managing a property in Baltimore for somebody, right? We go there, somebody has broken into the property. We just finished renovations. We go away for a week, come back. Somebody's broken in, they're in the property, right? So we call the cops, they get them out of the property. Somebody then pops up with a lease. Like, we got the first person out, the squatter out. Then somebody pops up with I got a lease for this property. So-and-so rented it to me, and they're coming off the street. Who comes off the street with a lease? Where are you coming from? So I already know it's a scam. My brother's there, boots on the ground with it. So he takes a picture of it, sends it to me, because he knows my vision, just like my vision on a property is crazy. My vision on legal documents and stuff is crazy now. It's been battle tested. So he sends the lease, and I'm looking at the lease. The address is 1607. This lease says 1601. This lease is invalid. Throw him out. But he's not. It's not that he couldn't see it, but there's just different levels of vision. I pick it up instantly. I'm like driving. I look, boom. My family's in the car, everything. I'm like, boom. Nah, throw them out. Tell them they don't even have a lease. It's invalid. And it's like having that vision, being able to rely on somebody with vision, experience, who's experienced a lot of things, knows how the law works, knows how I defended myself the first 2 times in landlord-tenant court. I went to get the experience. I handled the full eviction, soup to nuts, did all the research, all the legal work. So have the experience, to have the game. Now I hire the attorneys, but I know the game as well as the attorneys. So I can direct them. So you have to know as much as all of these different players to be able to direct everybody appropriately. That's the developer's job. So it's not only the resources, but it's the depth of knowledge, and then you starting to learn how I think. When you learn how I think, you become a dangerous investor. You become dangerous. Because that's never going to go away. That voice in your head is never going to go away. You're going to know what I'm talking about, what I'm saying. Dr. Glock said, you see me at the gun range. Good stuff. Yeah, I was getting some shots off. One of my neighbors, he took me out. He's like, yo, let me get you out to the range. That was actually my first time at the range. But the accuracy was there. We're definitely hitting the target. July ride along in Philly, bro. Yeah, we trying to get out here. We'll try to make it happen, because I know, Wes, like I can see how close you're getting to the goal. You're ready to get in your first deal. So having this ride along would really, it would really get you there. Ride along is just usually one day. We'll carve out all day. I'll rent a party bus. Good question. I'll rent a party bus. We'll go on a tour around the city. We'll check out some active projects. I'll take you guys into some hot spots so you can see the city and kind of learn like what's going on. What's a hot spot? Let's go to a rough pocket. Let's go to some of these neighborhoods, and so you can feel them. You can sense the tension or lack thereof, and you can really see what this is about. Not just read about it, not just hear about it in a blog, but go experience it. And it takes the fear out. It removes the fear out of the game. Like what's blocking a lot of us, it removes the fear because you're gonna feel it. And that experience, most people never get that level of experience before getting into a bunch of deals. So just stay tapped in, guys. Dr. Glock said I'm in for the September ride along. Yeah, definitely. We may have to do two. My guy James said, gotta love the game. Thanks for the consistency. Definitely appreciate it. I appreciate you guys too for staying tapped in, staying locked in. Pete said, grateful for the mentorship. Brian is the best. About 2 months in, and he already helped me navigate some lender issues for me and LLC questions. Brian, can I check out one of your full guts? Definitely. You're already out in the pocket, so I can send you into a project. You're already out there. Dr. Glock said he's in. I'll answer a few more questions, guys. Once again, if you're on, you're getting value. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment that says I subscribe. We're approaching. I anticipate we'll be at 10,000 subscribers for the channel by July. So I believe we're approaching 9,500 subs. So we're about to get into them double digits. So definitely subscribe to the channel. Keep supporting the channel. Share it with people. The word is getting out. We're about to hit those double digits and get into those 5 figures on subscribers. So that was definitely a mission of mine to push this to that level and beyond. And next ticket is 100K. We got to push it to 100K subscribers. Mr. Real Talk, appreciate discovering your channel. A correct mindset with some discipline and patience goes a long way. The brevity on each topic you discuss demonstrates how knowledgeable you are. Videos are so much value. It's definitely a lot of value. I mean, y'all tell me who's putting out more value than this on the real estate game. I don't care who your talking head is. Bring them. And I've had talking heads back down. Like, oh, Brian, you come on my channel. I'm gonna serve you on my channel. And I was like, bring it. They back down. Oh no, I was just playing. I'm like, oh, you got cold feet. You don't want to bring me on your channel now because you watch some of the content and it's not a game. I'll serve you. Because I'm still a certified financial planner. I still manage money for millionaires in the past life. I still got the Columbia pedigree. Like, you're not gonna just bring me on to serve me. This isn't a game to me. This is all day, every day. I'll research all of this stuff. I watch all the news. Like, I'm on it. So a lot of these guys, they don't really have the acumen to really get in the ring, on that level. They're not trying to see me on that level. They think they are until they read the Carfax. Here's a good question that nobody asked, but somebody texted me. Should I invest in properties that are already tenanted? Why or why not? I get this question all the time. All the time. So should you invest when it's tenanted? I don't, right? My first deal, I thought just like you guys. I'm going to go buy a turnkey rental property, get a multifamily. It's already tenanted. And, I'll collect the cash flow right away. It'll be cool. What I learned over the course of time is a lot of these existing tenants, one, they'll be afraid of you. A lot of people don't know this. But the existing tenant is always afraid of the new landlord. You always fear what you don't know and don't understand. And they don't know you. So they don't know if you're going to come in and blow up their spot or be a strict landlord, or if they're late, you're going to file on them, or they don't know what's going on. So you'll run into that where your best people, because they're afraid, they might leave, especially if they like their landlord. If they have a good relationship, they'll leave. The best ones will leave. And you'll be stuck trying to tenant those properties anyway. So you might as well just get them vacant to begin with. The people who will stay are typically the worst tenants. They're afraid of you too, but they know they don't pay on time, they got bad credit or whatever, and they can't find anywhere else. So you're going to get stuck with some headaches, maybe some nightmare situations. And you don't really want to be in that position. You want to learn the game. You want to get in, get a vacant property, and learn how to properly select tenants on your very first deal. Because if you can't select the right tenants and monetize tenants, it's going to be hard for you to be a long-term landlord. So I always go for vacant properties. I always want to close vacant for two reasons. One, I like to select my own people. Two, I like to add value to properties. So when I buy them, I like to buy them cheap. I like to renovate them and force appreciation. So I'm always forcing, these properties to be vacant. I almost will never buy a property unless you're talking about you're buying like a 20, 30 unit building. Even then, if I could get it vacant, I still would. But I'm not trying to buy like a triplex with people in it, because usually you're going to run into a nightmare situation. You're going to be filing an eviction before you know it, or they're going to be not paying, giving you the runaround, and you'll wish that you picked them. The tenants become like members of your family. You're going to hear from them. You're going to deal with them. You're going to talk to them constantly. There's going to be issues. So you want to make sure that you're picking them. You want to make sure that you're picking them. What other questions we got? We got a question from Dr. Glock. Do you teach Section 8? Absolutely. My first 100 deals, my first 100 properties were Section 8. 100. So I dealt with a lot with Section 8. Actually, you guys who've been following for a while know this. One of my favorite books is the Section 8 Bible. It was written by two guys from South Philly who started a 400 or 500 property empire in the early 2000s, I want to say. Early 2000s. They ran a birth strategy into a 400 property portfolio, all Section 8. And they wrote a book called the Section 8 Bible, which is one of my favorite real estate books of all time. When I first started reading it, they only had volume 1. Now they have volumes 1, 2, and 3. I haven't even read volume 3. I read volume 2, still love volume 1 the most because it was the most raw. And even if you read it now, most of the strategy, I pretty much patterned my business model off of that. A lot of it doesn't work, or there are different wrinkles now because banks change, lenders change, things change. But it's a ton of game, and that's a good book to read. But definitely, I started off Section 8, and I still do Section 8 in places like Baltimore. Section 8 is a good tool if you know how to use it. If you don't know what you're doing, Section 8 can be a drag. But I will say in most cities, Section 8 has gotten better over the course of time because of technology. So when I first started Section 8, there was just an 800 number. And sometimes you'd be sitting there, the phone's ringing for an hour, literally, or you're on hold for an hour. And then they hang up on you, got to call back and all this stuff. Now you can pretty much go onto a website, schedule your inspection right on the website. Everything's smooth, streamlined. All your information is there. Your pay stubs are there. All the information is available. If a property fails an inspection, you got a clean report right on the website. You can go download it, send it to your contractor, get it executed on, reschedule an inspection. So Section 8 can be great. You can definitely get premium rents off Section 8. And if anybody wants to know how to do that, I pretty much always talk to my mentees about that Section 8 strategy. So that's a good question. Let me see if there's anything else that we should tap into. This is a good one. What credit score do I need to invest in real estate? You pretty much want to have I would say like a 620. You want to have at least a 620, I'll say. Now, there are lenders who will lend to you even if you have a 500. I can connect you with some people that'll still lend to you. There are what we call asset-based lenders, or no credit check, no doc, no check type of lenders who will lend to you just under different terms. But the tougher the lending, like the tougher your credit score is, if you are below that 620 threshold, you now need to be a master at deal analysis. You need to be able to pick very conservative deals that are no-brainers. If you bring a no-brainer deal, even if your credit's bad, the right lender will still fund that deal. But you can't bring them a risky deal. So now you have to know how to evaluate deals properly. So this takes you up, to the next level. So this is why, even without cash or credit, you can still get this done, but you need the knowledge. There's two things in real estate, knowledge and money. The less you have of one, the more you need of the other. So the less money you have or credit that you have, the more knowledge you need, the more systems, resources you need, You need to be able to analyze deals better. You need to have ways to go out and get the best deals on the market. Because if you can find the best deal, let's say you can find a deal you bought for 30 grand and the after repair value was 250. There are deals like this out there. After repair value 250, and you bring that deal to the right lender, they're still going to fund it, even if your credit is jacked. Or you could form a syndication with somebody, not a partnership in the sense of we're going to put our heads together and start a company and build as many properties as we can as a company, but maybe, hey, we're just going to do this one deal together. And, you bring your credit score to the table, I'm bringing the knowledge, and we're going to put our heads together and get this thing done. So you have some of that. Charity said, I'm ready to get started. Hey, if you're ready to get started, you know how to get to me. However you got here, just reach out, email me, text. If you're in the Facebook group, DM me. You guys can find me on LinkedIn. I'm not hard to find. Brian Grimes Real Estate. You'll find me, and just tap in. That's another good question. How much money do I need to get started? It depends on the strategy. So it's not about money, it's about strategy. If you're starting off with less capital and potentially compromised credit, then you just need a no cash, no credit strategy. So we have to tap you into more of like creative financing, wholesaling, and some of those strategies. If you have more capital and you're looking to flip it, we'll tap you into buy and hold, buy and flip, some of the more advanced strategies. Either way, we're going to connect you with OPM, other people's money, so that you can get funded. But where there's a will, there's a way. And I didn't get here because I had money. Everybody who knows me, they know where I started at, the bottom. I made less money than all of you. You guys can drop in the chat where you started. I started off my first year, I made like $6,000 in a year of working. I basically paid to work. If I factor in the cost of gas and everything, I paid to work my first year. 100% commission. So yeah, $5,000 you can get started. You can definitely get started with a strategy with $5,000. Tax benefits of multifamily. There's so many. I break it all down in a 100 Keys masterclass. I actually have a full hour breakout session where we go a mile deep into just the tax benefits of. I think it's literally called the tax benefits of buy and hold real estate. But yeah, there's so many tax benefits. It's not even funny. There's so many tax benefits in real estate investing that you could lose on a deal. You could get a deal where the mortgage is $1,600 a month and the rent is $1,600 a month, and you could still come up off your tax return. It could still be a net profitable deal because of the taxes. There's ghost depreciation. There's bonus depreciation. There's all these different deductions for so many other things like your property taxes, maintenance, and you're getting write-offs. You're getting straight line depreciation. You're getting the assets now appreciating in value, so you're getting some of that as well. You're writing off your mortgage interest, your insurance premium. You're getting a lot of deductions. So if you can just get these properties and have the rent paid away, you're going to be in such a better position, man. That's why I love this game, because you can think you're losing and then the game saves you. Like you have no idea how many people are like this, where it's like, oh, I did a bad deal. They're like stressed out because they don't understand the game. And then they look up and it's like 2 years from then, their property appreciated $60,000 and they got tax returns the last 2 years. And you're like, so how was that deal? And they're like, actually, it wasn't that bad. And then the rents went up. Like, actually, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought. It's like, yeah, because you didn't know. You didn't know the game. You were so afraid of the game because you didn't even know the benefits. That's why it almost pains me when people come to me so afraid of real estate. They're afraid of me, afraid of mentorship. A mentor is going to burn me. You can't lose with mentorship. You can only lose from paying the ignorance tax, from not knowing anything. You can't lose from knowing things and knowing strategies. How could you lose with that? You can only apply that to make yourself money. And the cost of mentorship is so low in this game. Here's what you guys got to realize. You could overcome a $50,000 loss in real estate. You could overcome it in a year by just doing one profitable $100,000 deal. And real estate has those types of deals available. Even if you're working a 9 to 5, you make 50 grand a year. Do you know you could flip one deal and make 50K? And you don't have to be exceptional. You don't. That could be like an average type of deal. The average flip profit is probably $94,000 nationally. I'd have to look that up to confirm it, but I've seen that number, that figure somewhere in certain like areas. 94,000 on average. Some markets it's like 125,000. So you could overcome a $50,000 loss. If mentorship is a fraction of 50,000, that means you could easily cover the cost of mentorship. It's like a joke. It's like a joke. So but it pains me because a lot of us are so afraid of the game. We're afraid of this, afraid of that, afraid of that. But we sit on the sidelines. We don't even understand the game. You don't even know the tax benefits of real estate. You're so busy being afraid of getting started, or is the market timing right? How could you don't know enough to know if the market timing is right? You don't even know the tax benefits of real estate. What are you talking about the market timing? Market timing is for experts, and even they get it wrong. Don't try to be an expert at this until you learn the fundamentals. Stop trying to be Kobe Bryant. You don't even know how to dribble the basketball. Like, you don't even know your fundamentals yet. You're trying to cross people over. What are you doing? What are you thinking? You should get smacked on the back of the head. The real estate god should smack you on the back of the head. He said false evidence appearing real. Facts. False evidence appearing real. You don't know enough to truly sit on the sidelines. And I can tell you for a fact, the people that sit on the sidelines, they lose. Dr. Glock Brown's the best on YouTube, Unselfish Knowledge. I mean, this is just game. This is not. It's not about me. This is just to educate you guys. I already know all this stuff. But it's just to educate you guys and give you guys the real game so that you can go out there. You guys have to do this stuff. Like, real estate makes more millionaires than anything. This is what is going to build generational wealth for us and our families. If you don't do this, what are you going to do? I was talking to somebody earlier today. They're telling me about their 401k. They're like, well, I want to do something safe, like put my money in my 401k. What's safe about that? Well, I can put it in a mutual fund. The whole market's going to collapse with the recession. The stock market is going to get crushed. It already has. I was like, you're afraid of real estate. You've probably already lost $30,000 in your 401k this year. But you're not thinking about it because it's your 401k. Your job said it was safe. The person in HR said, oh, just max out your 401k so you don't think about it. I would wipe out that. I would take a $50,000 loan out of that 401k and buy a crib that's going to appreciate in value when inflation goes up. It's going to go up with it. Assets that appreciate. What you stuff it in your 401k, you lose 30 grand in your 401k, you won't even have an emotional reaction to it. You're just like, you drop a couple grand on mentorship, you feel a compression in your heart, in your chest. Oh my God, what a risk. You lose that overnight in your 401k and not even think about it and get no knowledge from that loss, right? Once again, you have to put these things in perspective. What knowledge did you get from losing 5 grand in your 401k? Nothing. You can't lose by investing in yourself and investing in your own knowledge, especially in the knowledge of money. You cannot lose by learning how money works and how to make your money work for you. You cannot lose doing that. You only lose by not doing that. You'll be like that guy who worked for 25 years and has 2 grand in savings. If you've been working very long, 10, 20, 30 years, and you have a couple of grand in your savings, something's off. It's not really your fault. It's, school does not teach you this stuff. Nothing teaches you this stuff. Your boss doesn't want you to know this. So that's that, guys. We had a little technical difficulty, which means it's time for me to go. Brian Grimes, your real estate mentor, signing off. Guys, get a hold of me. Reach out however you got here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. I appreciate it.